First, I want to welcome our elected officials that are here. We have our county commissioners, Bill Almquist, thank you. And we have, yes, round of applause. We have Representative Colin Jack, thank you. And then from Chris Stewart's office, we have Lorene Cox. Thanks for being here, Lorene. School board as well, of course. And did I miss any others? Sometimes they welcome. As far as announcements, lots going on, of course. There is going to be another honkin' wave for our Republican candidate weekend. I know they're needing volunteers still, and they have signs and things. So if you want more, that Kristen and a couple others have that information, so get with them. I have an election night party countywide. So if you're interested in coming to that, that's Tuesday night at the Brio Clubhouse. So you can watch for information coming on that. We do have Republican Women Bylaws meeting next week. That's Thursday at 1:30 at the St. George Live. Members, we encourage you to come read up on those bylaws before you come, and on that. And then the NFRW conference, Western Conference in Las Vegas weekend as well, Friday and Saturday. We'd really love to have a good showing from Washington County. Is anyone signed up to go to that?
It's the same as
there's a lot of things going on, it's true. So if you need more information on that, we did send that out, and please let me know if you need info on that. We'll have some great speakers there. Congressman there, our NFRW president will be there. They've planned a lot of great things, some trainings at November 11th and 12th in Las Vegas. And hopefully I didn't miss anything. Watch for those announcements. We are going to open with our prayer from Sharon by our Pledge in Americanism by Carol Bracken, and then continue to follow the program. We're going to have our membership report by Kathy, and our literacy report by Charlotte. She's been working hard on that, and she'll tell you a little more about it. And then we will go right into our nominating committee, which will, and following that, we'll go to that point, and then we'll get our programs. It works. I am short.
yikes. No. Okay. Dear Heavenly Father, we're thankful to Thee to be together again with new members and guests. We're grateful to Thee to be joined by Janet Labram of Memory Matters and to hear about the program. And we're thankful to Thee for the success of the Huntsman Senior Games and the Ironman World Championship events. We're thankful to Thee for all our GOP candidates at the federal and state level. The Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, which ruled against Obama's DACA, and for the rulings of appeals, one, a temporary stay of the student loan forgiveness program, and the other, a pro-life code of law. We're grateful to Thee for the Supreme Court hearing this week of student versus president and fellows of Harvard regarding the use of race in the admission process. To Thee for free speech on Twitter Thou provided us through Elon Musk. And the opportunity next week to recognize them for their service. Father, we have Memory Matters staff. May they continue the good work for those they serve, and for who are able to be here today due to illness, that she feel very well soon. We ask Thy blessings. May they all win. We ask Thy blessing for our court system. May their decision. We ask Thy blessing for Elon Musk as the new owner of Twitter and target for some. We ask Thy blessing for our veterans who choose to serve and sacrifice for our country. Joy. And lastly, Father, we ask Thy blessing for the over 100,000 families to the fentanyl crisis, that they may find find comfort in thee. We humbly ask thee, Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
I always think of November. I know the first thing that comes to our mind is probably terms, of course. But I also think it's a time that we can be thankful. And I just love the holiday season. And that season, this is an important time to celebrate our faith, our family. We are so grateful that our country is based on the belief that all of us have to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Principled on, and that we continue to aspire to. In a commencement at Hillsdale College in 2018, Mike Pence, the President of the United States, spoke on the importance of faith and said, "Faith has always been the wellspring of hope for millions of Americans and the foundation of our freedom as well." Then Vice President Pence added nation's Vice President John Adams, and he quoted, "Our Constitution for a moral and religious people, it is wholly inadequate to the government. We live in turbulent times, but we can be hopeful." Roosevelt once said, "With God, what's possible will always be infinite in what we believe to be probable." And we can be thankful that such a reality, that where we see a wall, God wishes to unveil. We are thankful for the many good men and women who are standing up for the cause of freedom and throughout the world. We are eternally grateful for those who sacrifice for us to be able to have the freedoms that we enjoy today. Appreciative, very appreciative for the leaders of this organization. And I can tell you, they spend many hours making. And we are grateful for each and every one of you and the support in your heart for the Constitution and your love for faith, family. Recently, I read a quote. I really liked it. It says, "Is the quickest path to joy." I hope that this Thanksgiving season full of faith and hope and joy, and that we will be able to Thanksgiving season and hopefully have a lot of causes for celebration. Please, allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, and the membership report for this month. We're pleased to announce that we have 4 new members. To acknowledge and welcome Kathy Marshall as a new member. Kathy, stand up. We all recognize you. Thank you. Welcome. Washington County Republican Women has 104 members and 17, and of our 121 members and associates, 66 of us. That's awesome, y'all. These members pay an additional $35 annual dues, and this helps us in not having to put on. In turn, they get a few perks. We have 2 new and newly members and our gold gym member, Judy Houston. In the back. Thank you. And thank you. Thank you. We love it when our members bring guests. The theme this year is each one bring one. So if each of us brought a joint, we double our membership. Wouldn't that be awesome? Club in the state. We could blow the roof off of that, ladies. As a goal for next year. So if anyone's brought a guest, we'd love to have y'all introduce them. And we could all say hello. Starting with Jennifer.
Jane and Howard Lindsay.
Wonderful. Welcome. Anyone at this other table? Back over here. Okay. Great. Welcome. You know, Republican women like men. It's a problem with men. We have no problem with men. So, associate members, you're welcome. Back table.
I have my guest.
Thank you for coming. Table here or the back table? Yeah. Okay. Thank you all for coming. Love having visitors. And if you haven't or Disney and haven't joined, we would love to have you be a member of Washington. And we invite you to stop by at the front desk and on your way out. If you have any questions, there's plenty of us in here to answer them. We'd love to know. Thank you for coming.
First of all, I want to apologize. I had this done for months, but anyway, they're here now. Ordered 4 books of the Tuttle Twins. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the series for children, and we've been giving them out the last 2 years. And this is the Tuttle Twins books too. The St. George Library. One goes to Hilldale. Then the third set is to be decided by you. I'll briefly go over the books. This is a series of 4, and they're written by Utah. He's up in the Lehigh Valley area, and Courageous Heroes. And the book goes through a list of who are considered heroes in America and what made them so. This one is Beware Your Bias. You know, and this has think about what your biases are and things like that. So very good information geared towards teens and young adults could use this, given the education that they've had. So inspiring entrepreneurs. And again, another list of the accomplished, you know, kind of being ahead in their fields and things like that. So the other one, it's logical fallacies. This one is important. It has to do with how it's spread. And so I think all of these, you know, and hopefully the kids will check them out of the libraries. I wanted to ask you for the third set of books, does anybody know a private school in the area that would be that you think would be interested?
An academy off of 3000 South.
George
Washington.
George Washington
Charter.
A charter school? Okay, very good. Thank you. I will put them on later and maybe you can give me the address and things like that. Okay, thank you. Somebody printed up these nice little book plates to go in each book. And we're of Washington County by the Washington County Republican Women. And it has our little logo on it.
Okay. Our slate of nominees for 2023. I'd like to introduce you this year. The members were Crystal Hageman, Jennifer Nelson, Kathy Thurston Isham, alternate member Carol Bracken. And I thank the ladies for their work on this. President and members, the nominating committee submits the following nominations for the executive three. Haley Kaplan for president. First vice president. Joanne Brenton for second vice president. For third vice president. Crystal Hageman for secretary. Atkin for treasurer. Yay, Sandy. As you know, here, so yay, Sandy. Okay, so now I move to open to the floor for nominations for the executive committee. Who will motion to open the floor? Any second? Penny. Okay. All right, this is open for nominations. Is there a nomination from the floor for president? Is there a nomination from the floor for president? Last chance. Is there a nomination from the floor for president?
Love Haley.
I know. Okay, moving on. Is there a nomination for president? Is there a nomination from the floor? Going. Is there a nomination from the president? Okay. Next, is there a nomination from the floor for second vice president? Is there a second vice president? Last chance, is there a nomination for second vice president? All right, moving on. Is there a for third vice president? Is there a nomination for third vice president? Is there a nomination for vice president? Okay. Is there a nomination for? Is there a nomination from the floor for? Is there a nomination from the floor for secretary? Okay. And is there a nomination from the floor for treasurer? Is there a nomination from the floor for treasurer? Is there a nomination, last chance, from the floor for treasurer? Got it. Okay. Well, the record will show that there have been no nominations from the floor. We have one final nomination. This gets up to everybody here today, and that is for the executive committee member. The floor of nominations is open right now, so is there a nomination for a member at large? Crystal.
I nominate Alexa.
Alexa, do you accept the nomination? What's your last name, Alexa? And so Secretary Crystal, you got that? Okay. Great, that's okay. That got done faster than I expected. Let me see. So our nominations are complete. Is there a motion to close the floor for nomination? Oh, can I move or do I need to ask for another time for this? Okay, the floor for member at large. Okay, last time now. A nomination from the floor for member at large. Congratulations, Alexa. Okay, so now I'm asking for a motion to close the floor to nominate. Motion, 2 seconds. Jennifer, seconds. And our job is done. Thank you.
Much. I know that all of these ladies have been putting a lot of time into that, and so we appreciate all of you for having faith in me again another year. I didn't ask for this, but I'm happy to work. So I love being here with you. So thank you. I'm excited. This is actually one of my favorite luncheons of the year. It was one of my first years ago. I just love that we work with our community and we choose a partner for the year. So I'm going to turn the time over to Yvonne. She's going to introduce our program and we'll go from there.
I'm still picking spinach out from my teeth. Oh, green looks good. Okay. First of all, thank you to such an amazing lunch. That was just such a great job.
Yes.
I have had the wonderful privilege for 10 years now, the community outreach, which means once a year I get to do what I love to do it too, but I get to do it. And that means that I get to serve how some way and help plan something fun for Christmas. And every year we kind of have a tradition of what we do. And the tradition is that in November, showcase a new nonprofit in our new nonprofit. It doesn't have to be new, but a new one for us. Every case a different nonprofit, but every year in November we choose a new one to focus on. And we gather together, and we always we start putting our names in a hat and who we want to focus on. And suggested memory matters. And after the community or the committee, all the options, that is who we chose that we want to focus on. So today we'll be focusing on this wonderful group that helps those with Alzheimer's and those who are patients. And the tradition is this: we're going to learn today about patient. And then on your table, there is a wish list they would love to have for Christmas for their volunteers, for family, for the office, for whatever. It could be for anything that they need. We have a Christmas party December 1st. And it's going to be the best Christmas party we've had since I've been in Republican. In Hafen. Do you know who Lyman Hafen is? If you don't know who Lyman Hafen is, he is an area, he's from here, obviously, his name. He is an amazing historian, and he's written a boatload of books. I looked him up, and I've got several of them. Somebody had an idea that if he gave a book, you should bring it next month, and maybe he could autograph it for you. That's our secret. Don't tell him I told you. But he's so nice. I know he was autographed. Anyway, and he'll probably have a few books. He's written two Christmas in Dixie books, too. I have volume 1. I didn't know there was a volume 2 till today. So anyway, Christmas in Dixie with us, and just help us even fall in love with more and the traditions that we have here as a community and spreading the Christmas cheer. Then we're going to have Phil Theobald, who goes by Phil Younger as brother. Commissioner Almquist is not. He's I know. You are my brother. But he does not his head in letting you know this is going to be great entertainment. So I would highly recommend you inviting friends to come and help us have a wonderful celebration. And when you come in December, you bring your kids for Memory Matters. And we're going to have a big Christmas tree, and we're going to build that Christmas tree up with gifts for them to take home to their office and to their staff. I'm going to now give you a real quick Luann Lundquist to be speaking today. I don't know if she's the founder.
Yes, she is. And I'll tell you more.
She called last night. She sent me a text. She's sick. Coming on. I know it's not that, but I ought to be on it.
You know, that's okay, Yvonne, don't worry about it.
Okay, Janet is filling in for 9:30 last night. Finds out she's going to be doing this presentation. Knows her very well, and I actually know her pretty dang good myself. And for Luann. She loves Memory Matters. I know that from visiting with her, and she's a passionate woman, and her heart is the size of Texas. So her bio in front of me to tell you only that she is an excellent for this organization. So come on down. Yes, Jennifer wanted to share something first.
So hopefully you can hear me over this crackly voice. Became familiar with Memory Matters. My husband had Alzheimer's and then had the Parkinson's as well, which is actually what he died of about a year. When we came here, I hooked up with Memory Matters, and they were just really sort of organization, very grassrooty, and everything they could have, people to help and stuff like that. Well, they had these that were for not necessarily so much with those with dementia, even though they for caregivers. And I was in that beginning stage of being a caregiver. They helped me. Eventually, my husband went to their daycare. Daycare was, I think, 2, maybe 3 days long is all. And it was a great relief to drive him down and leave him here. And one of the projects that they had him do was paint rocks. The rock that he did, is this one, and then there's a little one. And I now have over 100 spray painted rocks, like the young women and the older women and the older people. Something on it, because they're all going to go out in the yard. But this was really kind of the inspiration. And I have recommended it. I have friends who have had their family member. Boy, I'll tell you what a relief for us caregivers to have an organization like this. So, Jan.
Tall Jennifer is, Larry was even taller. He was so much fun to have in our act. And I want to thank you so much for allowing us to be here today, and thank you for choosing Jennifer Memory Matters for your Christmas project. And if you notice, our wish list is a little bit goofy. They're not exciting, but they're important to us. And about Luann, but she is so careful about how she spends our donations. And anything we can get from you folks means that much money can go to providing for those in our area that we have the privilege of serving. And Jennifer mentioned that education. I had to leave that today at the library to be here to replace Luann. So all the way down from Salt Lake, she's with the Division of Securities, came down to talk to our people about temptation and fraud. Is that a problem in this part of the world? You bet it. Another caregiver speaking to them the second hour about helpful tips for caregivers that she learned through her caregiving journey. So, all over the place, and I apologize for that, because as Yvonne mentioned, I found out about 9:30 last night. Opportunity. And I wanted to tell Yvonne how grateful I am for her part in our lives. Just over 20 years ago from Salt Lake to get our daughter away from gangs and drugs. Yvonne was her first leader when we moved down here, and one of my first friends. Thanks for being there for our family. We have come to truly love George. And Sharon, where did you go? I want to thank you for that beautiful prayer. So wonderful, and I appreciate that. And we truly are, at Memory Matters, we are passionate, we do. And I can promise you, we don't do it for the money. Luann Lundquist worked for a number of years for a national organization in dementia. And I happened to meet her while she was working there. I worked for a hospice agency. Met her, I thought, I want to be just like her when I grow up. She's a whole year and a half older than me. But you could just feel and see her passion for what she did. By a raise of hands, how many of you have been touched in your lives by someone with Alzheimer's or dementia? And how many of you have been caregivers? What a hard job it is. Yeah, it is. It's so hard. We are so grateful that we can help our caregivers know alone. I can share stories from so many of our caregivers, recognize that there's some things going on in their loved one's life. At first they think, oh, I must be crazy. There's something wrong with me. And then they reach to have their loved one tested. We can do a simple cognitive assessment. And if they don't score really well, then we can send them to a neurologist or to their family doctor, and they can go from there. So anyway, back to Lou is doing wonderful things here with this national organization. I happen to be able to have committees. And then in, I think, 2011, down unannounced and shut down the office. No notice, out of the office, and said, you're done. Well, passionate Luann was not going to have anything. So she and her husband dipped into their savings and started what is now Memory Matters and Dementia Society. But that caused too much confusion with the other organization. Come to love and appreciate what Luann did for them. We're sending donations, and they were going to the other who didn't need it as much as we did. So is that okay that I say that? Just to say, the name change came about. And I've got some brochures back on the table. And I just want to share with you that in 2012, organization, so we've been going for over 10 years now, and 9 years ago. So I finally got to be just like, well, not just like Luann, I will never be just like her, but team. And I'll tell you what, it's infectious. Really, I can't afford to volunteer. I could probably go to McDonald's, but you know what? The return would not be anything like it is right now. So I'm totally okay that my 16-year-old granddaughter makes more money than I do. I'm just kidding, but anyway, and that's why I truly, it's have organizations such as yours know about our plight and do what you can to help you. And I'm going to be a little bit bold and probably say something that Luann will curl, said it, but our ultimate wish and hope and goal building so that we can have more individuals served. Activity club, we can have, because of the space that we're in, the limitations we can have 15. Sometimes we get really close to that number, and other times we only have half that many. It depends on the season. It depends on the health of those we're serving. Point where they have to go to a facility because their loved one can no longer handle them at home. 3 to 5 hours of respite, 1 to 4 days a week, it's not enough. It's the sundowning hours that make it so difficult for the caregivers. To that, or as our sweet JJ knows, to their life. But at any rate, it's just such a pleasure to be able to serve and are so passionate about what we're able to do. Passionate about empowering individuals, families, and communities to support, education, and personalized help. I get the phone call, the caregiver says, my spouse has just been diagnosed. Help, I don't know what to do, I don't know where to go. That's where it all begins, and that's how we provide that help. We are not a state or federal organization. We don't get Medicare pay. Working, trying to jump through all the hoops to get Medicaid. But if any of you have ever been involved in the process, we're short-staffed. So to find the time to go through, only to find out we didn't cross this T right, we have to start it all over again. We don't have the staff to do that and to see it through to the end. So if any of you that did not make it onto the committee need something to do, please call me. Our mission is to reduce isolation for individuals with dementia and their caregivers through activities, support, education, and consultations. And again, it's just to be able to touch their lives, even just a teeny tiny bit, and see the relief as they realize that they are not alone. I get to have the privilege of caregiver support groups each week. We do one via Zoom, and that started because of our good things that came from that, right? And we, our numbers continue to grow, and it's awfully hard to get out and take your loved one somewhere. And so if you can just sit at home, it makes it a lot easier for a lot of our caregivers. And then we have one every Wednesday we meet. And we've been meeting every week for, Jennifer, did you ever come to our support groups? I know you did.
Yeah.
And then that group grew too large, so we moved to the library. And there were some weeks at the library that we had 40 caregivers there. And then COVID hit. Yay, Zoom. And after a couple of months, some of our caregivers said, we cannot anymore. Now, those of you who are familiar with someone with Alzheimer's, yourself as their caregiver, how good of a conversationalist are they? So to be able to meet with other caregivers and talk to them, see their support and feel their support makes a huge difference. And so one of our caregivers, don't care if I get sick. I have got to meet with other caregivers that are two most incredible caregivers. Us named Cottam or Metcalf. Those are familiar, huh? Well, Terry Metcalf, who grew up in Metcalf Mortuary, and they cared between the two of their parents with Alzheimer's and dementia. They didn't know anything about memory until they were going in with their third parent. They were dying, and when they happened to find Luann, finally, they felt like someone had thrown them. And so his father was the last one they took care of, and he passed away. Well, they were so grateful for the help that they found through memories, have dedicated their lives to being there to help other caregivers. My duties at the early stage memory loss series over to them, said I need you to, lady that drove all the way down from Salt Lake in the snow, and then introduce our next set so that I can go and be with the Republican Women's Committee or group. So anyway, but Brad and Terry, basically they have, as I mentioned, to be there for every caregiver that they could possibly be there for. Need to meet in person. Terry reached out to her brother Ron and said, Ron, because she knew it would have a big enough space that we could social distance support that they needed. And so he said, yes, we started meeting there. COVID March 2000, we were meeting August of 2000. Social distancing made all the difference in the world for our caregivers. When things finally opened back library, guess what? Nobody wanted to. Feeling meeting there in the mortuary. I know it sounds kind of morbid. And when I tell people where we're meeting, I cringe. You mean where? But I generally don't get that. So it's the biggest part of the whole thing is that we start to feel like family. And when you know that there are others going through what you're going through, it creates a bond. I'm sure most of you have experienced that in some way or another, part of your life. So anyway, I absolutely love what I get to do for our caregivers in their support groups, but in their one-on-one consultations. We get to help a little bit, dabble a little bit in the activity club, but we've got a wonderful activity. You'll notice on the wish list, we have an incredible cook. So much of that wish list is, and if you ever want to come and try her food, bring a loved one with you that needs to be try the food. I'm just kidding. You're welcome to come anytime. Just let us know you're coming so that we can have. But and then the art supplies are also for our activity class. Our sweet little activity that can create beautiful things out of next to nothing. So Jennifer, and we'll have them get them painted for you with the activity club members. Office supplies, and then on our wish list we also have items, gift bags. We could not do anything that we do volunteers. I'm so grateful for Brad and Terry being over there, taking over that so I can be, and volunteers that come to our activity class. We would love Yvonne, hint, for our group. They would love that. Music is so important. People with memory issues. And give me a high five if I need to shut up.
No.
Okay. I don't know. So one of the questions was asked by the committee, how many people are in our support. Earlier that we had some weeks 30 to 40 people when we were at the library. Last people in the mortuary. That was the biggest we've had since COVID, and that just made me feel so good. If nothing else, it's telling me that many people are getting supported. Community that will take, if they have to bring their loved one who has the disease, to feel like they can open up and really truly share what they're dealing with while they're. And so Kathy will take them into their own support group. And listeners, those of who are still able to verbalize or understand what their concerns are, those their caregivers can truly open up and share what's frightening to them, has been successful for them. And can I share, we laugh
a lot because you have to laugh. And our neighbors in our building, they got a grant through COVID to get these little robotic pets. Have them with us. Jennifer was a recipient. I think she still is, aren't you?
Yeah.
And that's okay. You don't have to. But we had one little gal. She and her husband had got children in Arizona, and the children had a little dog that I guess followed her husband everywhere. And when they returned home, he was absolutely sure that little puppy had come home with them. Running around, and he was talking to it. So I said, Deb, let's get you one of these robotic pups. I run, and she just didn't say anything to him about it. She left it on the couch. And she activated, you know, as you walk past them, they'll activate. Well, she had to go somewhere. She got back home. He was sitting on the opposite end of the couch, just looking really just like this. And she said, well, honey, what happened? He looked down at the dog, looked at her knee. You know, and one thing you learn as a caregiver with them, you join them in their journey. She goes, oh, honey, how did that happen? Well, he just touching himself and had drawn blood. But he was sure that that dog had bit him. That out, and now they're best friends. They'll go sit out on their back patio and look. Anyway, so you have to enjoy the journey.
Those animals on Amazon are $125. His wife, who has Alzheimer's, she's going to take her cat with her. She is immediately attached herself to the cat. $5 on Amazon, and they were free.
And we were able to get them through our RCI, another to give to our people that needed them. And so, you know, the nonprofit community is fantastic. And we're so grateful to be a part of hopefully helping them. And because I know it's sure the blessings flow, and you know, the pay might not be great, but the blessings will come for that. Do any of you have any questions? I know it's probably time for me to wrap up.
Brand new items, or can they be gently?
If they're gently used, we do not care. We are not, we're just always grateful for what we can get. So, and one thing to have a thrift store, and you all know what has happened in the real estate market down here. There's no way we can afford it right now, and there's nothing available. So yes.
To our senior services, our council on aging for space, or Commissioner Snow and I have been rudely texting back and forth that we want to support you.
I love that. If you could help us find space, if you can't find a building for our service, find something for our thrift store, you know, more thrifts. But when we thought we had a space, we put the word out to our caregivers. We don't have a lot of space in there. So we had a couple offices that were full of beautiful donations and putting out money for storage units that we don't have. And you know, money we don't have, sell things online and sell things, have a couple of pop-ups. But if you guys could come up with something for us, we'd be indebted to you forever.
You didn't have enough place to meet. I know you want your but if you needed space to meet,
oh, okay. Oh, so you don't have a place for us for our thrift store then, huh? I'm just kidding. Right now, we're meeting in our activity club in our office. We're doing our caregiver consultation offices, and they're sufficient. But if all of a sudden we had caregivers want to bring their loved ones to our activity club, we'd be pushing the limits. Regulated, so you can only have so many per square footage that you have. The biggest problem is with our activity club. You know, we're good with our at the library. Right now, we're good with our support groups because they love being at Capital. I'm okay with that too.
So you need a space for activities.
Yes.
I think that the county could help you out with.
Does that work? Does that tie in?
Well, we had about the senior center, but because they have so many other things going on there, they could only let us be there 3 days a week. Well, caregivers were crying for more time. As it is, we've got 4 days a week for up to 5 hours a day in our office. And we're okay, but a lot of people that have this situation, have this problem yet, don't want to admit it yet, or it hasn't got to the point where they just handle it on their own. So anyway, we just want to be there and help how we can, when we can. We don't want anybody being overwhelmed. JJ, you have something to say.
My husband suffered an anoxic brain injury a couple of years ago, and we just saw him decline. I guess people can't hear you. Anyway, I just wanted to share a story. My husband had anoxic brain injury and just started to decline. Thank goodness we find a wonderful neurologist who actually does. But this is the thing I really wanted to say. And he thought Memory Matters wasn't a very good name. Friendship Matters. So he would say, are we going to Friendship Matters? And I just thought that was really what this organization is about, friendship and mingling. And it really, Hensley and I taught with, or worked with Luann when we got into all this. She is an angel person, no question. So are you.
Thank you for sharing that. We are here to help support any way we can and anything you folks can do. And I love that you create those. I love that they're made with the gears that we have in our logo. That is so, and we'll be so excited to see those. So anyway, we would love your support any way you can do it. Do you have any questions at all? I know I haven't covered everything. I kind of get rattling on. I apologize.
I have a question.
Yes.
I have a young wife died a few years ago. He's got first stages of dementia.
Uh-huh.
So right now he's his own. But I'm thinking about him right now. Would I need to come with him? His family's in town, basically his neighbors. Would I need to come with him to the activities?
No. I mean, if you wanted to come in with him and maybe do a care consult,
Okay.
if you're willing to do that, you are. And thank you, because we have so many people in this part of the world who are here. They move to get away from their virus, and then they get dementia, and they hurt. So if it's something that you'd like us to do, we can do like I. And then if it's something that needs to be followed up, we can refer you on to neurologists, because we do have one. They're just really busy, but they're good. But thank you for doing that. Jennifer, you had wanted to make.
You used to have a class in the fall and the spring. Is it still doing two classes?
Yes, we are.
Caregivers, where the people with it, because we used to have a joint and then a second, now we split.
Exactly, and that's what was going on today at the library. We're just about wrapping up. In fact, Dr. Tim Kogler will be there next week as our main speaker at 10. So if you've ever heard of that man, he's a neuropsychologist. He is brilliant, and really appreciate him and his willingness to help us out. So anyway, yeah, we have about, and then we'll have another one starting in spring. And so it's called Early Stage Memory Class Series. It's an education series, 8 weeks. We bring in professionals from the community, and sometimes we bring them down from snowy Salt Lake. But just topics that we as caregivers to know about. And then we do separate the second hour issues, go into a cognitive training portion, where they're taught skills, stimulate the brain, and help it work a little bit better, a little bit longer. And I need to go. So, any other questions? Yes, JJ.
Is there gonna
Yes, I appreciate you asking that. Back on the table, there's some little flyers. It will be our second annual Let's Do Holiday Lunch Fun. This year we'll be at another hotel who shall remain nameless. It'll be on the flyer. But what's that?
It's the Hilton
Yeah, the Hilton
Garden.
Garden. We just thought of the Abbey because it is beautiful, but I don't know if they have big enough space. But anyway, silent auction items. We've got a wonderful committee working on, and this was built after Paul Evans and the Christmas box house. The gal that helped with those, Galen, moved to St. George, and guess who got to take advantage of that? One of our volunteers. So anyway, it'll be our second annual. It's on December 2nd. So please take one to call me and we'll get you a table. You can get a table or just a single seat, whatever you'd like.
Aren't you the tickets?
It's a fundraiser, hun, yeah.
I know.
I know, I'm just being
Not
a
on
smart
there.
aleck. This is a very, just save the date
Okay.
kind of thing. So the seat that pays for lunch and then kicks back a little bit of money to Memory Matters to be able to continue. So yes,
what time will it be?
it's from 11 to 2. I am not very tech savvy, so I couldn't add that to the larger flyers. So just save the date. Anything, I can give you all the love in the world, but I can't do a lot on computers.
Could I make a quick announcement? Created a lapel pin that could be worn not only men, but women too. And it says, economy, vote GOP. And expenses and fundraising. So I have them on, they're $8, and if you're interested, please stop for listening.
Thank you. All righty, any other questions? Did I cover enough of what you needed me to? Okay.
Thank you so much, Janet. We lost my grandmother during COVID to this disease as well. So I've watched my mom be the all that you guys do. So I'm excited. We will continue this on for next year as well. Bring your, but as you know how we did this year, we will donate each month at our luncheons. So we'll continue and Luann, so that'll be great. Yeah, thank you. And thank you to work as well. Okay, well, we look forward to next month. It's always a great, have a good uplifting Christmas program. So please join us December 1st. That great entertainment that she mentioned. So I will take a motion to adjourn and let you guys, anyone want to make that motion? Or do you guys just want to stay out there? Carol, thank you. All right, thank you so much. Have a great day.
Bookstore. And I, have you